Hi, Sweetie.
Hi, Mummy Bear.
How's your week been?
Good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being on holiday a lot.
Well, yeah.
And I'm also, interestingly, happy to be back from holiday because we went on a small little trip for a
right.
a little
I see
kind
what
of
you mean. You're still on
break.
school holidays.
Oh, yeah, still on holiday. But we went on a little mini trip away, and so nights. I had to water everything in the greenhouse. I was like, "You are not going to dry out. Do not dry out." And
I had
got
to water
back.
all my dahlias and cannas in their pots.
Yeah, which are doing really well, aren't they?
I think so. Some have come through. It looks very dry, the soil.
Oh,
but you know, I've watered it, so
okey-dokes.
What more can you do?
Yeah, there are little shoots coming up. I love it when you see them. In some. That's always fun. Anyway, so we got back, and I must say I was just really happy to be back in the garden again. And we've got a friend coming over in a few weeks, which always is a great incentive, I find, to doing stuff and getting stuff done. Like, you'll have a job in the garden, and you'll go, "Oh, no one's going to see it. It's just me, so I could do that later." And now we've got a friend coming. We want it to look amazing, like we're on top of everything all the time.
So I cleaned all the bird poo off the garden furniture.
Yes, which sounds like an easy job. It is an easy job to do.
Well, there's just a lot of it. We have a lot of birds. And then I tied back the honeysuckle on the pergola, which is in amongst the Virginia creeper. So I cut that back and tied that back. I had to tie up the grape on the covered pergola.
Yeah.
And there's a honeysuckle coming up there as well, isn't there? And then we had the arbor replaced, an old rotten wooden arbor which came with the house.
Yes.
We've replaced that with a cheap and cheerful plastic one. Plastic metal. Black metal.
Which looks really nice because we have the tulips in pots, in nice terracotta pots kind of around it.
They always look nice against black, don't they? Black metal
do.
frames. So they're there. And then the worry was this big jasmine, beautiful fragrant jasmine, which is sort of by the table that we eat at outside.
Yeah, which is great. You get this waft.
A really nice perfumey waft. It can be quite overwhelming actually at times because there's that and the honeysuckle.
Oh yeah, so you get this clash of kind of blend of perfumes.
Really goes for it.
It's quite something.
But that was really big and really mature and tangled up in this wooden arbor, and I cut that right back down. And actually I think it survived. I think it's going to go up that black one and it'll look nice. It
looks great from what we can tell.
I think we're all right.
I think so.
And what did you do?
Well, we have these kind of slabs, stone slabs, and we had to...
Just the patio.
Yeah, the patio area. And we have this kind of indoor-outdoor rug on them, and we kind of would sweep around the rug and stuff like that and just kind of get the debris off and everything.
Yeah.
And so...
it all catches underneath, doesn't it?
It all catches underneath. And so we finally decided we're going to do a proper wash down of the patio, get all of the algae and the moss and the stuff off it, move the table and chairs.
A proper clean rather than just cleaning around stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a proper clean. And so we lifted it all off and took off the rug, and I just saw all of this kind of algae mud kind of mush underneath. I was like, this is going to be satisfying.
Very satisfying. The before and after photos are perfect, aren't they?
Amazing. So I had a lot of fun doing that today, actually, which was a nice workout as well.
And whilst you were doing it, we didn't realise that Hobbs had to let herself out. We do have a gap in the fence. I mean, she can come and go as she pleases, but she never chooses to.
Yeah.
But she obviously decided she would take herself a little trot. It's largely because the new neighbours have got the most gorgeous dog.
Yeah.
A border collie called Oasis, who's sweeter than sweet. I mean, such a sweet dog.
I've never seen... It's this border collie, slightly old, and she's got this beautiful face.
Perfection. And Hobbs loves her and wants to play with her. Anyway, so we didn't realise, because I was busy with my jobs, you were busy with yours, that she had taken herself off, and then you just saw this nose being wedged between the gate and the wall.
So sweet.
She's... the flaw in her plan is she's learned how to get out but not how to get back in again.
No, so she's she's just an scapegoat, and that's it.
A scapegoat?
She just gets out.
You're thinking...
Wrong thing.
Escape artist.
No.
You're thinking of scapegoat, which is totally different. She's not an scapegoat.
Okay, an escape artist then. She's a complete escape artist, except she's missed out on half of her. No, she's just an escape artist. I've got this so wrong. Oh well, she can escape, but she can't get back in, and it just makes me laugh because I did actually hear her. I heard these little paddy paws.
You heard something skedaddling past, didn't you? But you didn't realise it was your Hobbs.
No, so I was just going, that might be Hobbs. But I thought to myself, but we're out in the garden, so she wouldn't want to
escape us.
That's just weird. And the next thing I just see this little face, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, well, I don't know.
It's nice that she's all perky though, because whilst we took our little brief trip away,
oh yeah,
she stayed with the dog sitter, and no fault of the dog sitter.
No,
but when we picked her up, we found she had essentially a hole in her stomach, a massive hole about 2 centimeters across.
A hole,
like
but
a
it's
crater.
It's a crater, so it doesn't actually go in. It's about.
We can't talk too much about it because it is gruesome.
Well, so you get squeamed out of it.
Squeamish.
Squeamish.
Not nice at all, but we think possibly a cyst burst.
On the skin.
We think she had a lump there, don't we?
Yeah.
You think so anyway.
I'm pretty sure, but yeah.
We haven't found any other lumps, so we think that must have been where the lump was. It's either that or botfly.
Which I'm really hoping is.
I'm hoping
it's not, because that is more disgusting.
I think it was a ruptured cyst.
Yeah.
Anyway, poor little Hobbsy, because of course it's Easter weekend and vets aren't readily available, but we did get a response back from them saying to wash it out with warm water and then to clean it twice a day. So we're doing that.
Yeah, with antiseptic stuff.
And you seem to be coping all right, don't you, Hobbs?
She does.
Enough to forget that you're not well and that you should take yourself off for a little trot.
Yeah, I'd like to say that she is the best patient because she is so sweet. This morning I cleaned it.
She's so precious.
And she just lay down. She was a bit like, oh, I'm not keen on you touching it. And I was trying to be gentle as possible, and I had to kind of spray it with clean water to kind of get rid of the mud around it.
We've got some old saline,
like
a saline cleansing sterile water thing, which is left over from when I had an operation on my hand,
which is brilliant.
And I had these little bottles that I was to clean with.
Yeah,
and I've got a whole load left over, so we're able to squirt the wound with that.
Exactly,
which clean it out,
which was really needed because I was literally wiping with a towel the mud away around it, and then I had to squirt a whole load. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
but the point is, she's so sweet, and then she just looks at me and goes, "Could I have a biscuit now?"
Okay.
That's it.
We don't need to cover any more on her wound.
No.
But back to the garden and less gruesome things.
Yeah.
Your cousins were in Cornwall with your grandparents.
They were.
Easter.
Yeah.
And they discovered a rather interesting thing, a mutant daisy.
This was very cool, actually. I was jealous I wasn't there.
Beautiful photo.
Yeah.
And I'll put it on our Instagram to show what we're talking about. But basically it's this daisy that isn't round, hasn't got a circular head. It's got an elongated head, probably about
in the shape of a C, a big C,
4 or 5 centimeters.
Yeah,
and it's got petals all the way around the outside, and this elongated center, and then the stem is very strap-like.
Yeah,
I thought it was absolutely fascinating, so I looked up to see what I could find about it, and apparently it's called a fasciation or cresting when this occurs, and can happen in any plant.
Interesting.
There are a number of causes that it could be. There's hormonal imbalances in the plant, there's random genetic mutation, bacterial infection or exposure to chemicals, and it was considered that this was occurring a lot near Japan's Fukushima, the nuclear power plant leak that they had following the tsunami back in 2011. And there were a lot of these occurring there. But your grandparents, I do believe, don't live anywhere near any nuclear contamination. So
especially not on their lawn.
Hopefully we can rule that one out.
Yeah.
But other explanations, could it involve refuse dumps?
Okay.
And toxic chemicals leaching from such places into the soil.
Interesting.
But I think it's nothing quite as dramatic. There's a bacterium called Rhodococcus fascians, and it could be that, or it could be a viral infection, or also it can be caused by damage to the plants. But it's really fascinating what it looks like.
Yeah, it's so cool. I saw it, I was like, what on earth is going on there? That?
Very weird. Right, Sweet Pea, I don't have any housekeeping from last week.
No, I don't remember any.
So what's your plant fun fact?
Righto. Last week I talked about the largest national park.
Yes, in Greenland.
In Greenland. Huge, 972,000 square kilometres.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely enormous. Now I'm going to talk about the smallest urban park.
Right.
Teeny weeny teeny tiny. So, in your head, what would you say would be, like logically, what would be a small urban park?
Yeah. Like a little... I'm thinking of the one down the road from us where I used to take you to the one swing.
Oh, yes. That was very small.
And the one tiny roundabout. What was that?
That was very tiny.
That was probably about the size of your greenhouse.
Yeah, so 3 meters by 2 meters.
Yeah,
yeah, that was
probably
tiny.
A bit bigger than that.
That's a good point. Well, this is even teeny tinier because in 1946 there's a man called Dick Fagan.
Mm-hmm.
Dick Fagan, and he returned from the Second World War to his job as a journalist at the Oregon Journal. Mm-hmm. And he had his office, sit at it, look out the window. Wasn't a particularly inspiring view, and there was this one kind of hole where a lamppost used to be. And he then decided to add some flowers and stuff to this kind of bare patch of earth. And it became like a little beautiful thing that he could look at. And,
sweet. And
he wrote a column called Mill Ends, which refers to the kind of leftover bits of wood at a mill.
From a sawmill, yeah.
Exactly. And the hole was sometimes referred to as Blooming Hole, or as he liked to call it, the world's smallest park.
Oh, sweet.
And apparently there are events that happened
held at this park
with
no one could stand in.
Leprechauns. So not really sure what happened there. But then Mill Ends officially became a city park on St. Patrick's Day in 1976. And it's had many donations as well to this teeny weeny little park, including a small swimming pool and diving board, wait for it, for butterflies. How awesome is that?
Oh, that sounds gorgeous.
I know.
Oh my gosh, there's so many things going wrong with the world. That's the kind of news you want to hear, isn't it?
It's so
and it
sweet.
Still exists today.
Still exists today. And
absolutely wonderful.
To give you a kind of idea, it is 0.61 metres across.
Oh, yeah.
And in kind of total, it is 0.292 square metres.
Oh,
so it's
funny.
Very small.
Oh, for the leprechauns of Portland.
And the butterflies.
And the
so
butterflies.
They can dive off their diving board.
That is just such a nice story. Thanks for sharing that one.
I love it.
That has made me smile.
I know. Made me smile as well.
Well, my animal fun fact, is, did you know that kangaroos can't walk or hop backwards because their tail is just too heavy and gets in the way?
Oh, sweet.
But also nor can emus. And because of this, the Australian authorities decided to include them on the coat of arms, the Australian coat of arms, to symbolise the country's resolve to only move forward and never backward.
Oh, sweet.
Just like the humble emu and kangaroo.
I love that. That is also really sweet.
Well, talking of sweet, we have got a lot of doggy sweetness in this episode of Garden as well, haven't we?
We have. There is more dog than plants in this,
I must
say.
That's what made this a lovely episode.
Yeah, so we're going to just be
in heaven
talking about dogs a lot.
So, shall we recap this one?
Absolutely.
This is Gardener's World 2025, Episode 6 recap.
Off we go.
We've got a very perky Ned. I love Ned so much.
Yeah, and I wanted to say a very relaxed Monty.
Yeah.
Because he was just sitting down for once, which was really nice.
Yeah.
Like when he sits down, you can just see his leg twitching, wanting to get back up again.
Which like shooting off.
I can understand completely, but he was really enjoying it. And so it was very peaceful to sit there and go, just taking stock of everything, enjoying the beauty of the mound. And he was looking at all of the pale yellows and blues. It's a very calming colour palette, I find.
Yeah, it was lovely.
And then he talked about 3 plants that he had there, because he had a lot of pale yellows. They're quite an easy, or at least an easier colour to find than a pale blue in flowers. Sure. So he had Daffodil Avalon, which made me think immediately of Violet.
Yeah.
Because she loved
Avalon Garden.
Avalon Garden. So that daffodil is a pale yellow. Then there was a Forsythia Nymans. That was also a soft yellow. And then he had the Muscari, which spread by seed, he said. So he had them in a pot and was going to allow them to kind of go around the place as much as possible.
And then he was in the writing garden.
Yeah.
Or white garden. He said it's predominantly green at the moment.
It is.
And did you get the plants that were in there?
So there were Leucodium, Snowflake, really pretty, tulips, white pulmonaria, and then specifically tulip Lady Jane, which does have that pink. And he wanted it to look like the cherry blossom, but they come up at 2 different times of the year.
Yeah.
But I think that's quite nice because then you keep that slight tinge of pink.
I think that's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of succession.
Yeah. And then there was a winter flowering honeysuckle as well.
Yeah.
Which was just cutting back into a nice shape.
Yeah, giving it a good prune, which he said now is the time to do it. And made me think we need to get onto our Forsythia.
That's a good point.
I say every year I'm going to cut all the Forsythia back, and then I miss the window really to do it, don't I? But I will do it because they are getting very straggly.
They are. We quite like them at the moment because they
look like willows. Willow whips, don't they?
Precisely.
Floating around.
Exactly.
But I do think just a little bit of cutting back would be good.
Just to give a little bit of bushiness. That would be nice.
And I loved it when he was cutting it and he cuts a bit and chucks it and apologises to Ned, and Ned was completely unfazed. It's basically like Hobbs because as long as she's in amongst the action, she's content.
Completely.
She doesn't care if you're dropping bits and pieces on her. She just thinks this is great.
The other day I was weeding a bed. She was lying right on the path below me. I had to chuck them somewhere because I was chucking them onto the path. I chucked them onto her.
Yeah.
And so she got all this dirt on her. She just gently looked around and went, oh.
She just wants to be with you,
and then just lay back down again. So the next thing I'm brushing it off her and she's like, oh, stroke time. This is nice. Exactly. And I was just like, I'm trying to get it off you. This isn't meant to be nice.
Little baby girl.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
Then we head over to Carol at Glebe Cottage, down in North Devon.
Yeah. And she's going to be doing another series of... Last year it was all about how to get more plants for free.
Propagating. I loved last year's series with Carol.
So satisfying.
What's her series this year then? So it's basically we're going to look at her garden through the changing seasons, aren't we?
And also understand what plants to put in each season to keep just an abundance of colour.
She said clever planting in combinations.
Which one can just go bleh.
Just like we do.
Bleh, bleh. And just plant. Immediately just go, I like that, put that there.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do that. And I do think that works as well because it gives a more natural vibe.
Well, yeah.
I suppose, in a way. But one can look more scientifically at things and understand this comes up at this time, that time, and get a kind of... like a Mexican wave. I'd like to look at it. A Mexican wave of flowers.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it.
Just all comes one after the other. So she was doing it, and so she's got her kind of more spring flowers up at the moment. There was Primrose vulgaris. That's always loved by everybody. And a Euphorbia amygdaloides, which Robbie I.
That was pretty.
Really
I like
pretty.
that a lot.
Called wood spurge. And I finally realised that is it's specifically this one that I see growing on my morning walks.
Yeah.
Just in the verge. Yeah, the woodland area, there's kind of a shady bit that I walk through. And I've always loved this lime green just pow in my face.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty.
Then there was a Trillium chloropetulum.
This was interesting. I've never seen this before. I don't know how common it is.
No.
Obviously, I don't know my plants like most people out there, but this looked really unique, and she was saying everything's in threes: the petals, bracts, leaves, and it was so pretty.
It was really
so
pretty.
unusual looking. I haven't knowingly seen it, but I reckon it's going to be one of those things where now I've seen it, I'm going to start seeing it everywhere.
That is a good point. Just like Camasias, which I saw again on today's show.
Have you ever seen this Trillium thing from?
I've definitely heard of it before the word Trillium.
But have you seen it knowingly? I don't think gardens that we've visited, the sort of place I imagine it to be would be in Mary Benger's garden.
Oh, yeah.
At Borough Farm Gardens.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. I loved walking around that garden.
Yes, but let's not get sidetracked with that one. We're at Carol's.
It is, another name for it is giant wake robin.
Oh, right.
So...
I haven't heard of that either.
No, I haven't. Doesn't help. Does not help the situation.
And then she had some arums behind it, didn't she?
Yeah, the arum italicum marmoratum pictum, which is quite a mouthful. And when she said it, I had to pause it 500 times. Pictum, she said, means painted. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, what does marmoratum mean? Because I just immediately thought of marmots.
Or marmite.
Or marmite.
I'm really surprised you didn't go for the food option first.
Oh, that's a good point. Why? But it means marbled.
Oh, okay.
So it's a far more elegant meaning than marmite.
Yeah,
I'd say. And it gives this really nice variegated look, marbled look to it. So it's really cool.
And then I also saw some hellebores in there and some camassias as well. Yeah,
that was where I saw them pop up and went, camassias.
And hers are flowering at the moment, which it makes me think, because I did plant some in our kind of Springbank area. And it was a risk because camassias like it damp, don't they? And we've got a free draining hill.
So free draining.
And I guess that because hers are up now, I wasn't sure when they come up, but because hers are up now and flowering, it means ours haven't taken, which is sad. But I did, it was just an experiment to see if they'd work. They would have been great because they're tall and the grass is starting to get quite long in amongst that bit now, isn't it?
It would have been gorgeous. They would have been able to stand upright really well.
It would have looked lovely. What a shame.
Oh, such a shame.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll try one more time.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay. Then also in the container, she decided to make a pot full of colour. I do want to add in that she had a plastic pot in terracotta pot.
Yeah.
Which is always a great technique. And I think I need to start thinking about doing that.
Makes life a lot easier, doesn't it?
Does seem to make life easier. So she had daffodils, polyanthus gold laced in there, which had a really pretty kind of dark chocolatey middle and yellow kind of
didn't look real, did it?
On the outside. And then there was an anemone ranunculoides. That is the yellow one, which we kind of thought we had growing, but we have, what's that yellow plant that we have growing everywhere, spreads everywhere?
Lesser celandine.
There we go, that was it.
And then she said when your pot's done, of course you can go plant all these in the garden afterwards, so they've got a second life.
That is what I really like to do.
We've been doing that with the tulips. You're not so sure that we should be doing that this year. You'd like us to dry those out and store them, wouldn't you?
Because it's a huge job.
It is a huge job.
And it's quite a job as well, especially when you've got to lug a good pot worth of soil and tulips down the hillside to
Would
a
it
bed.
be easier though if we had plastic pots in terracotta pots and then you're just lugging the plastic pot down?
No, because I take the soil out of the terracotta pot, put it in a tub and then just take the tub down. It has handles on it.
So you're not even taking the pot?
No, and it's still very heavy.
It is nice to see that colour come up in the beds though.
It is.
In the early season.
I think I'm just going to have to grow some abs and get down and go for it, which I can do. I wanted to say this as well, was how much gardening keeps me really fit.
It does. You have abs of steel.
It's amazing, especially when we've got like some more gravel to add to our paths, or we've got anything from sacks of compost. It keeps one really, really fit. And it means that therefore I don't have to pay a gym membership.
This is every cloud has its silver lining.
Like
I'm grateful you don't have to pay a gym membership because I would be paying a gym membership.
Yeah. I know,
but it is a gym workout.
Yeah.
The difference is that you're actually getting something out of it at the end of it as opposed to going and pumping some iron. Yeah. Or that's with your free weights, but if you're on the machines, I don't know what you even do in a gym, and you're on a running machine, running to nowhere. Yeah, here you're running to the other end of the garden to get the pot that you forgot.
To get your glasses.
Find my glasses.
Yeah. So I wanted to say that it's really great. There are so many upsides to gardening.
There are so many. I can't think of many negatives.
Yeah.
And Carol was looking pretty brutish in her garden at one point where it looked like she was attacking a tree, and then we find out later that actually it's just completely dead.
Yeah.
This shrub, Echinanthus, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was. She can be really brutish with some plants, and I'm taking it from her now. I'm sometimes very brutish with my plants.
Ripping things up.
Carol Klein would do this. She'd be like, yep, just get your fork and spade in there, get them together, split the plant, bosh, done. Yeah. And she says it obviously far more nicely than that.
Yeah.
But she was very brutish with that. And the Echinanthus actually has really pretty bell flowers, so I was rather sad that it had died, because I could imagine that was rather pretty in that bed. But in some other beds as well, there were also leucojums, epimediums, which are the barrenwort. They can be in kind of reds, yellows, and a Trinodoxa, which I had never heard this name before.
Never heard of it.
I was like, crikey, but it's actually a scilla. So, Monty's talked about them in his little pots.
Oh, okay. I mean, she was throwing out names left, right and centre that I had never heard of.
She was.
And they were just rattling off her tongue very easily.
Oh, it was really cool. And then the Cinderella plants that she was putting into this bed, which she had added loads of compost in, and it had this beautiful soil. She had wood anemones, Robinsoniana.
The little rhizomes, she said they'll spread nicely.
Exactly. There was an Ophiopogum. We see this a lot now, the Ophiopogum, because Monty was putting in the black one, and she's putting in...
Yeah.
She was splitting this one to have it cascade through the bed. Then there was an Anemonala thalictroide, Rosia, which was also in there. Erythroniums, which are fawn lilies, also known as dogtooth lily.
Oh,
that was the one that dangles down with those kind of teeth coming out.
Toothy pegs.
Hellebores and a begonia called Flirt. It's a rather pretty little plant, and I thought begonia sounds very similar. Slightly similar plants, but not in their tendencies, I would say, because begonias you want to put in direct sun. They're tender plants, tropical plants, so you want to look after them in the winter, all those kind of things. They're, to be honest, harder to look after, I would say. Well,
this one, she said, was very easy. They can be in light and they can be in dark as well.
Yeah.
They seem fine with anything.
Well, begonias are great. They're hardy, drought tolerant. They don't want to be heated in the winter, so they're the plants you want to have. They are.
Why haven't we seen more of them? Because they also look really pretty.
They do, actually. You can get lots of different textures, heights, shapes.
Yeah, I'd be interested in having some in our garden, actually. I'm thinking up on the terrace in the shady bit, that one shady bit we have in the garden. Could look quite nice in amongst there.
That would be really nice, actually.
So it'd be nice to have the contrast of that maroony colour.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what else Carol comes up with over the course of this series.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I'll be keeping a keen eye to know what I need to be planting in the garden.
Yeah, absolutely. Back with Monty, he's in the damp garden. And he's looking at his Taihaku cherry.
He's very proud of that. He's talked about that many times before.
He has, and this year's been especially good because it hasn't been so wet and it hasn't been windy. No. And so the blossoms stayed on for a lot longer. So he's really enjoyed it this year, hasn't he?
He has. He said usually the blossom stays on for 1 or 2 days. I was like, what kind of a blossom is that? You're only on for 2 days.
Rubbish, isn't it?
It's really rubbish.
And then he's moving his hostas because he hasn't had problems with slugs.
In the
ground. So he's doing an experiment to see if that same hosta in a pot attracts all the slugs.
Yeah.
And he does that thing of splitting it, and the noise it made is, what's that called? I want to say ASMR. ASMR or something like that.
Something like that.
Where it's about sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people who like the sound. Like the sound I like is when I buy an item of clothing and then I go to the till and there's usually like a glass counter.
Yeah.
And then if the shop assistant is folding my piece of clothing really carefully,
you can hear
the sound of her folding it.
No way.
There's something I really like about it, and then putting it into a bag, and I think it must be that kind of thing.
That is a really good point. You do it a lot to me. Whenever I'm trying to sound test before we start a podcast, the amount of times we've had some crisps and you've gone, hello, and be really, what's the word? Really sensual. And I'm just trying to get you to test your sound and talk normally into the microphone, and you're going, well, hello. So it takes a good 10 minutes to get us ready.
Well, Monty does it to us by splitting his hostas, and the sound was so beautiful. And then he even mentioned it, didn't he? He said, did. That was a very satisfying sound.
It was.
Really nice. So he split this hosta.
With a sharp spade as well.
And that's the other thing. His spades are really clean. They're really sharp.
Like, you'd have me come in with my spade and I'd just go thwack and it's just in a blunt end, hit the soil and bounce off again.
And then he puts the smaller bit back in the hole.
Yeah.
And then he takes the bigger bit off to his beautiful, gorgeous potting nook.
Yeah. Really clean.
And then he's splitting those again, isn't he, into pots there?
Into pots. I have still never understood the whole thing of why putting that, that little netting that Adam put in last season on the bottom of the pots.
Yeah.
Because I looked it up and apparently slugs will lay their eggs in the drainage hole and then they hatch and then
clamber up,
I suppose. So that's stopping eggs from being laid.
That's helpful though, reducing how many slugs are being born.
Yeah. And then finally he went to the grass borders / jewel garden, and he was adding in some more Miscanthus sacriflorus, because apparently that was going to just be kind of low maintenance. Grasses are great.
Well, he said about how they're getting older, so they need lower maintenance now, which I can relate to. And grasses is the way forward.
They are brilliant.
But this one, he said it grows sort of 14 to 16 foot tall. It's nearly 5 metres tall.
That's huge.
So I think we should get some of those planted.
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be amazing. But talking of hostas, we then went to your gardens.
Yeah.
And this is Jess Goddard in Glasgow.
Yes.
Glasgow.
And she had a balcony garden.
Yeah, her gorgeous little balcony. Small and just packed to the rafters with plants.
Exactly.
She said it's got 2 microclimates. I know why you're putting that face, because you are going to university hopefully this September.
Hopefully? I'm going to university.
You would like a balcony.
I'd love a balcony.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I've always just thought of being at university, revising really hard, because I know that next year I'm going to revise like hick. Go for it.
Next year.
Lots of work. And I've always thought that having a little balcony with a cup of tea, go sit out and have my tomato plants. And I want to kind of have herbs and stuff for the kitchen so that I can be one of those students who makes nice food and isn't just getting pot noodles and stuff. And I can get my cherry tomatoes, make a salad.
Or you can still just put some herbs on your pot noodles. Shush it up a bit.
Shush up pot noodles.
I'd rather you weren't eating pot noodles, but there's a time and a place for them, but not on a regular basis.
It's like my backup.
Yeah.
But
I think batch cooking will be the way forward, Sweet Pea.
Precisely. But the point is, whenever I see a balcony garden, I get hugely jealous and I get a lot of ideas, get my little notepad out and highlight it.
Yeah.
Another balcony garden.
So interesting what she said about the 2 microclimates.
Yeah,
so
precisely.
The dry side and the damp side.
That's amazing.
If you ever got a balcony, I mean, you'd be so lucky to get one.
So
that's something to bear in mind, that even in a small little space like that, you can still have it completely different. And she worked that out through trial and error.
Yeah.
And then figured she's got the damp side. She can have all her hostas in there.
Great.
And her ferns.
Yeah.
And then everything else the other end.
Exactly. She had lots of different plants. Some that she didn't talk about, so tomatoes, ferns, nasturtiums. I thought I saw a cordyline.
Right.
Because there was a pretty red, strappy plant. I thought that looks like my cordyline. And geraniums as well. And
then the most stunning Devon green hosta, which didn't look real. It was so perfect. Do you think she had gone, and you can get these wipes or this
polish
spray that shines for houseplants, for shining your houseplant leaves?
Oh.
Do you think she went and buffed up every leaf of that hosta? It was so unbelievably perfect.
It was stunning, and the ribs along it as well.
It was gorgeous.
I fell in love with it.
Yeah, I did as well. We don't have any hostas, but
because we just can't.
We just can't.
Wrong climate.
But wouldn't it be wonderful to have one like that? I was really taken by it.
Yeah.
And that had come from her dad.
I love this story.
Isn't that sweet?
He split loads of his hostas to give to her.
So they can have conversations about how their plants are doing, comparing them, because they're 8 hours apart.
Yeah, so where could her dad be? In the US?
I think 8 hours drive, Sweet Pea. Not necessarily by flight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think, from looking online, I think he's more down on the south coast of the UK.
Ah, gotcha. Okie dokes.
I mean, compared to what I talked to Dad about, which is the battle I'm having with blanket weed in the pond, and he said he's got a battle with duckweed in his pond.
Yeah.
So we haven't got anything as nice as beautiful Devon green hostas to talk about.
That's a very good point. I think me next year, a lot of the FaceTime calls will be like, look at my tomato plants.
I have no doubt I'm going to be FaceTiming a lot of plants when we speak.
All of the WhatsApp photos are just going to be tomato plant. Basil.
This is my chives.
These are my chives.
Oh no.
These are chives.
Can't wait. Monty relates nicely to the point Jess made about the 2 microclimates. He said he's in his herb garden, and he said he's got a similar thing with very different growing conditions in one space.
Yeah.
So he's got one side where it gets some sun, and that's okay for the Mediterranean herbs. And then up by that beautiful red brick wall.
Yeah.
It's very much in the shade.
Deep
pure
shade.
Hours of sunlight. So he said that's good for his chives, which grow really easily.
Yeah.
And mint, and he emphasised, do not plant mint into any kind of border.
Yeah.
Do you think ours is going to be all right?
No, because I haven't told you about this, because obviously I was weeding the veggie garden, and it's in this kind of box bit next to the bed, but a box which is in the ground.
I built a planter at the end of one of our veg beds.
Yes.
But it doesn't have a base to it.
No, it just goes into the ground.
Has it gone underneath?
When I was weeding...
Oh, no.
I had to try and pull up these bits, but you can't because they are so deep. But I have good news for you.
Okay.
Even though it can be hugely invasive, one can, if you just keep on cutting it before it flowers, make sure it does not flower. Mm-hmm. The stems that are outside of the box, if you just keep on cutting at it, it weakens it, and then it'll just kind of die back.
Should we pull up that whole mint plant?
No.
I know it's really pretty.
It's my mojito mint.
It's flourishing.
You can't take away my mojitos.
We can dig it up and stick it in a pot.
Ones.
I think we probably should. If it's getting underneath and into then the veg bed, that's no good.
But I think we're doomed now because it will have set roots, and so we're not going to be able to pull up the whole thing.
Oh no, what have we done? That's a bit worrying, isn't it?
Mojitos.
A lot of mojitos. He's planting some mints.
Yeah, he had the apple mint, spearmint, and the peppermint, which he said are very good for all different things. And then
peppermint's the best one for drinks, he said.
Apparently, yeah, but I would say mojito mint is the best for drinks. And then his red-veined sorrel, which
it's not really a herb. I will
agree, it's not a herb,
but yummy nonetheless.
Exactly.
He then turns to Ned. He says, "Are you coming to help me?" And Ned's just, nope.
Not
quite
happening.
Happy here in the sun.
No day soon.
And then Monty talks about his dog garden,
which we've been wanting to hear about for a long time.
And there's the most gorgeous montage of his various doggies. I had to rewind, especially that one. I think, was it Ned as a pup or one of them as a pup? Smushed up against a gate. Just smushed into it asleep.
Oh, so cute.
And there was a snoring sound. I don't know if they laid that track on top of the image because it didn't sound like a dog snoring. Anyway, it was gorgeous. So the RHS and Radio 2 asked Monty if he had considered designing a garden that celebrates dogs and gardening at Chelsea, and he said he would. And he will do it with the help of Ned. Yeah,
I thought this was very interesting because he said very specifically that it had to be the perfect accumulation of what a dog wants in a garden and also that a human can enjoy at the same time.
Yeah, of course. And then we hear from Clare Matterson. She is Director General of the RHS. And she says how it was just a dream come true to have Monty design this garden.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then we hear from, we see Jamie Butterworth. Do you remember Jamie?
I do.
Plantsman.
Yeah.
We saw him in 2023, episode 7, when he was helping Carol, who was prepping for Hampton Court, wasn't she?
Yeah, it was. And they were a great team together.
Yeah.
Working on it.
They were. And then also he was on Gone as Well 2024, episode 16, at Hampton Court, and Nick was talking to him about money-saving gardens.
Yes.
So we've seen quite a bit of him. And he is now helping Monts. And he said at one point that Monty is the reason he got into gardening.
I thought that was amazing.
Interesting, isn't it? So
really
he's kind of
cool.
working with his hero almost.
Oh, wow.
And then we also have Jo Whiley. She's a DJ on Radio 2. I don't think she won't mean anything to you, but I grew up with Jo Whiley. She was on Radio 1 back then, and
really
super, just so cool.
So cool.
Really, really cool.
She seemed like a dude.
And she always had this really kind of husky voice. She knew her music inside out. She was just brilliant.
I'd like to meet her.
Yeah, she was kind of just a really respected DJ, really.
She sounds awesome.
But it turns out now she also knows a thing or two about plants. She's RHS ambassador.
Well, she's even cooler now that she likes plants.
Yeah, she's into all the right things, isn't she?
Yeah.
And then Monty talks about how he wants to make it a place where a dog would feel happy and at home.
Yeah.
And Jamie, although a plantsman, brings some bricks. So he's also bricksman. For the path, because Monty wants to give this vibe of Longmeadow.
Yeah, small little kind of
Nod
to Longmeadow.
Yeah. So they look at the different bricks, decide what colour's best. And then he says how, as well as the path, his design also has trees, a flower meadow, a stream to wallow in for the doggies.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's for the humans as well.
Obviously it is.
A lawn and a building which is a combo of a summer house and kind of an enormous kennel.
Wow.
And then he said a couple of chewed balls.
Yeah. Oh, and an exploring area for dogs just to kind of go have fun.
Yeah, and he said it's more than just a jokey dog garden. It's also where a dog is part of the family and part of life.
Yeah.
So the planting, having said it's more than just a jokey one, there are all these kind of so spurious nods towards dogs, such as dogwood.
I love that. He did have some kind of good staple trees.
Yeah.
So he had the hazel, field maple, crabapple. And so that was very nice structure. And then, yes.
Circular flowers.
Circular
to
flowers.
Look like balls.
Ball theme. I thought that's brilliant. So there were going to be, I'm sure there would be alliums and stuff.
Yeah.
Dogwood, that was hilarious. And topiary and any flowers in a round form.
I wonder if he'll have a topiary Nigel in it.
Oh, that would be lovely.
And then you can really sense Monty's trepidation. He explains that although he's not being judged as such, so marks aren't going to be knocked off.
No.
He still wants everything to be perfect. And
I'd
Jo Whiley mentions that as well and says, my gosh, hats off to him because he is being judged big time by everyone coming to see. I mean, it is, when you think about it, Monty and who he is and what he does, all eyes are on Monts, aren't they?
Entirely. He's got to be really thick-skinned.
Yeah, I could really feel his anxiety, actually. I felt anxious for him.
Well, you could hear it when he asked Jamie, how are the plants doing at the nursery? And Jamie went, well, they've grown. And I was like, well, this is brilliant. Always a good thing with plants when they've grown.
Yeah, and Monty even says, somewhere between excitement and just pure cold panic.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Well, my favourite bit at the kind of end of this segment was when he unleashed Ned into this mapped out area kind of with all the plants in their pots of what the garden would be so that they could see where a dog would run naturally. And Ned just went all over the shop.
That's going to be different every time, isn't it?
Different every time at the end.
Depends what mood Ned's in.
Yeah, exactly. Solitary mood.
If Hobbs was tired, if it was after her dinner, she would just go and lie in the middle.
Yeah, and nothing would happen. You'd just have a big ring. And that would be it. But Ned went everywhere because the camera that was attached to the collar seemed to be going through everything. I loved it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be really interesting to see how this progresses. It's not long now, is it? It's in May.
No, it isn't. And he did say that it's going to be open to dogs to come in.
Yeah.
I think Hobbs would like to go to it.
It would be nice, but you've got exams slap bang in the middle of Chelsea, so you're not going to get to go this year, I'm afraid.
No. Sorry, Hobbs.
Sorry, Hobbs. Next year.
Oh.
Monty's carrying Patsy. We don't see much of Patsy these days.
He's really got
Patsy bundled up in his arms and Ned trotting along beside, looking up, thinking, I want to be in his arms.
Yes.
And Monty mentions that Chelsea coverage starts on the 18th of May.
Oh, yeah.
Then he takes us to his raised beds.
Yeah, the cut flower end of the veg garden.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he's got his cut flowers. He's been trialling some bulbs in there as well. But in this one raised bed, which is for the cut flowers, he's going to make it a seed bed, which I think is brilliant, where you directly sow and it just acts as a seed tray. Huge seed tray.
Huge seed tray.
And he says not all plants like it, but some do, and some will seed really easily and prefer a seed bed. So he said about brassicas, and in the brassica family are wallflowers, which I did not know whatsoever.
Your grandparents love wallflowers.
They
have
do.
Loads of them. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they do really love them. The one that he was planting was called Blood Red, and by the name, I think you can tell what the colour was. And he lightly covered them over, tried to sow the seed as finely as possible.
Yeah, he sort of did a ditch, didn't he? And he said ideally have them an inch apart, and then to cover them, you'd just sort of put your finger and thumb either side of the ditch and let the soil come over.
Yeah, but really not too much.
Mm.
And then he went to the greenhouse where he had overwintered salvias, and he was taking them out to, well, end of winter.
Yep.
And also to take cuttings, which I think is everybody's favourite thing to do with salvias.
Well, it's definitely your favourite thing, isn't it?
Yeah, he had Salvia granitica in there, which was also called anise scented sage. That's a purple coloured one.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was Salvia fulgens, that's Mexican scarlet sage by the same colour with the name.
And he said you could buy these plants and they can cost £10 to £30 at a garden centre, and you could create up to a dozen cuttings from them.
I know, which is utterly brilliant and what I'm trying to do with my salvias. So he did it in 2/3 perlite, 1/3 compost, which is a very good mix, and I do that. But he also said you could do it in pure perlite.
Yeah, pure
which
perlite.
I find works extremely well.
You're a bit of a perlite queen, aren't you?
Love perlite.
And he talks about softwood cuttings.
Yeah.
So he said if you can bend them and it doesn't break, that's your softwood cutting.
Exactly, bend all the way over, which I cannot do myself.
Oh, I see, as in you actually bending over.
Yeah, I'm not flexible. I'm a hardwood cutting.
Oh, sweet pea, you're my little hardwood cutting, aren't you? I think you need to start doing Pilates classes when you go to university.
I've never been flexible. Very sad. But I did want to say, he seems to love his Ziploc plastic bags, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. I'm still laughing about you being a hardwood cutting.
It's very sad times. But he always puts one of these Ziploc bags over his cuttings to keep a nice moist environment so that they never dry out.
Yeah, exactly. Stop evaporation. And then he puts them somewhere sunny.
Yep.
And then he puts them on in about 2 to 3 weeks' time. And then you grow them on and then you plant them out in the summer.
Exactly.
And with the mother plant, or the parent plant, you
Yep.
need to harden it off after you've taken those cuttings.
Yep.
For at least a week in a shelter place before then planting that out in mid-May.
Brilliant.
Then we go to North Carmarthenshire.
I wrote down on my page, don't say it, Mutta, because I knew you were going to do that crazy accent.
And this is at the small holding of Fiona and Julian Wormald.
Yep.
In West Wales. And this was specifically to look at daffodils. And he talks about the daffs providing that burst of spring colour.
Entirely.
Which gets you through, and he mentions this, through the grey days, and especially where he is in West Wales, the heavy rainfall of earlier in the year. And he's on his 11-acre small holding.
Yeah.
Which was a derelict small holding when they first bought it. There was no garden and no landscaping. And they've been working on the garden gradually, never with any plan, which I love.
I love that.
So just a little bit at a time. You just chip away at it, don't you?
Yeah, bit by bit. I think also it makes it seem like less of just a huge project when you just do space by space.
Yeah.
It makes it look far more surmountable.
Minute by minute.
Exactly. He did also say how he loved snowdrops and how he had lots of those in the garden as well. So I thought that was rather nice that he had daffodils and snowdrops, but he had a very specific love for daffodils and interest in them and the history behind them.
Yeah, I like the social history and kind of the human stories relating to those daffs.
Completely. So he did have the Narcissus van Sion, which dates back quite some time to
the 16th century, he said.
Yeah. Then he had the Tenby daffodil, which is the Welsh national flower.
Yeah,
beautiful emblem.
He said it's native to southwest Wales and it comes into flower on St David's Day, so it's a really good national flower.
Perfect. Then he did a brief history of daffodils, saying how they became popular in the 1800s, and the Tenby daffodil was part of a hybridising industry, which I hadn't heard of before. I did look up what happened far, far, far before that with daffodils.
Oh, yeah.
And how Romans planted daffodils for loved ones or comrades fallen in battle.
Oh, right.
Which is rather a beautiful story.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then they were brought to Britain. Apparently, I don't know if this is a complete and utter myth, but the sap of the daffodil they thought kind of could cure scars and stuff and problems like that, when actually it contains irritants.
It's horrible,
it can really irritate, because the Greek name Narcissus comes from narcotic, and that's kind of talking about the fact that the whole plant is poisonous.
Right.
Entirely. So you don't try and eat any of it.
Don't try and eat any of it. No, I wasn't planning to. He mentions the Brunswick. He said this flower's really early.
Yeah, he did.
It's tall. It's the longest lasting flowers of any.
And how you had to pay £450, which in today's money, for one bulb.
For one bulb. Yeah, this was when it was first launched in the 1930s. And he did show what it looks like, and he said the combination of that beautiful yellow against the kind of bluey green foliage.
It was beautiful.
It was a nice juxtaposition, wasn't it?
Yeah. He then said there were 13 divisions for daffodils. Mm-hmm. And that, for example, orange comet daffodil, that's in division 6. That's cyclaminius. And that is what gives it that kind of...
Well, they're the ones with the petals all swept back, so a bit like the Jetfire as well.
Precisely. Well, he did talk about that. Also, daffodils don't set seed, but the pseudo Narcissus do. And so he had this huge field.
Wild daffs.
Yeah, exactly. Full of daffodils, all from just self-seeding around the place.
And he said this one was the inspiration for the Wordsworth poem.
Yes.
Interestingly, he says how it takes 5 to 6 years for the seeds to take.
Oh.
Which shows that I need to be a lot more patient, because we've got some of the pseudo-Narcissus.
Oh,
because I wanted them to really spread, and that's why I've kept the heads on to let the seeds drop.
Yeah.
But 2 things are missing. First of all, sheep to hoof them into the ground.
Yeah, very important grazing.
And second of all, patience is missing from me.
From me as well.
That's a major issue. But it was reassuring to know that eventually it could get there.
Eventually.
And then he's cuddling one of his sheep, who he names all the sheep after the daffodils, and one called Jetfire, who's a very friendly ewe.
Yeah.
And then he talks about the Jetfire being a good doer, and we can completely vouch for that, can't we?
Entirely.
We've had a really interesting mix of daffodils, because I went for it with the catalogue last year, and we have all sorts of ones that we don't know the names of, and I can't find the names of them from the catalogue. They're not available at the moment. So hopefully this autumn I'll be able to look them up, because we've got multi-headed ones. We've got ones that look like egg yolks.
Yeah.
We've got ones
Peach Princess
that sort of peachy ones. That. We've got creamy ones.
Yeah.
There's so many, and they're looking gorgeous on our daffodil bank.
Yeah, they look utterly amazing. There are some which are proper little cup and saucer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, I've really been converted on the daffs front, because I didn't used to be that big a fan of them, but now we're going with all the different varieties. Absolutely loving them.
Same. Oh, and also you missed out the cute little baby lamb called Lulic.
Oh,
which was really sweet.
Sorry about that.
Lulic's a cream yellow and white daffodil, and a very cute lamb as well.
Well, Fiona and Julian are the owners of this place. Julian, who we saw, Fiona, we didn't.
Nope.
And it's called Gelli Uchaf.
Oh.
Uchaf.
Okay.
I think I've pronounced that right.
It sounded fairly good.
Which apparently translates as the Upper Grove.
Gotcha.
Their garden is open through the NGS. They will first be open on Saturday, the 24th of May.
Oh, okie dokes.
But you have to, it's appointment only because they've got limited parking. But it's about an hour and 40 minutes northwest of Cardiff and only about 45 minutes from Adam Jones. Do you remember Adam from episode 2 with his beautiful garden, veg
How
garden?
could I not remember him?
Now, this garden is absolutely amazing. All we saw were daffs, and that's kind of out of season for most other things.
Yeah.
It's spectacular, Sweet Pea.
Really?
I would really like to visit it. They have got meadows, they've got streams, ponds, all these beautiful seating areas, views. Julian he's a vet by trade.
No way.
And they met, Fiona and Julian met at Cambridge University. Oh, wow. She became a geography teacher. He is a vet. Is maybe retired now, and he had various practices around the country, and then they moved here.
That's amazing.
And the amount of work they've done on this place is incredible. Yeah. Like he said, just kind of chipping away at it bit by bit. They did all the sort of hardscaping first, and they found a lot off the, rocks and bricks and slabs and all sorts on the land, so they were able to use a lot of those. So they'd use a slab for a bench, for example, and
brilliant,
nice big slabs for lovely stone steps, which is something I would so love to be able to do here.
I've been waiting to find some really nice like slabs, or I don't know, like
where are you planning to find them?
I don't know, when digging the pond, for example. I was waiting to find treasure.
There was nothing, just clay.
Just clay.
But they really have got a spectacular garden where they have to account for quite a wide range of weather conditions. So he mentioned they're 800 foot above sea level. Yes. They have such a high rainfall, over 2.2 metres in the last year.
No.
And their temperature ranges from -19 and can go up to 36 degrees, which they had in the summer of 2022. So they're dealing with a huge amount in terms of conditions.
That's crazy.
What I found interesting when I was listening to a talk by Julian was how they'd had what he described as 2 life-changing brushes with criminal activity. And the first one was back in 1987 when their TV was stolen. And he said so they never replaced the TV, so they've never actually watched any gardening programmes. So this is all their own doing from, their own heads, but also a bit of inspiration from Beth Chatto.
Yep.
They really liked her garden, sort of gravel gardens, and they decided just to ignore the dry part of her gardens.
That's always a good thing to do.
Yeah. But anyway, so about their hard landscaping, they, for example, found an old cobbled path underneath a load of concrete. Wow. So decided then to make an enormous area of cobbles. So set about laying stone by stone to extend this cobbledness.
That's amazing.
And he described their way of working as jack of all trades, master of none. But he really could turn his hand to so much. They were building furniture, they were building the house, they were building everything, the steps,
awesome.
the whole lot. He built a shepherd's hut, so they have this beautiful view at the top, overlooking sweeping hills, the sun over the hills, really gorgeous. And they initially put 4 wooden chairs up there.
Oh yeah.
And you got this beautiful photo of the view from behind the chairs, and it looked gorgeous, but apparently very, very exposed up there. God. Get really quite windy, and also a lot of midges. So he just thought, well, I'll build a shepherd's hut. So he built a shepherd's hut. Probably glass windows and everything, so you can now sit in the shepherd's hut and look at this incredible view.
Oh, lovely.
Another thing he did was they had to cut down a load of dangerous spruce trees that were, rotten or whatever and going to fall.
Yeah, okay.
So they had the tree surgeon cut them down, but he asked the surgeon to leave the stumps really quite high up.
Oh, yeah.
And then he decided what he was going to do with them, and he decided to take a chainsaw to them, and he built all these beautiful wooden mushrooms, and he stained the caps of the mushrooms to make them darker to the rest, and they just became a real attraction for wildlife. And now they are slowly degrading with that mushrooms on them.
No way.
Growing out of them. So a lot of their garden is about making it as at one with wildlife as possible, so attracting as much in the way of pollinators. And he said how they really, all their planting is with pollinators in mind.
Oh, lovely.
Invertebrates and things. Another thing they have is a croquet lawn. Can you believe that?
Oh, brilliant.
Amazing. I mean, you think of the order and how pristine a croquet lawn needs to be.
Yeah.
So it shows you how diverse their garden is.
Oh, brilliant.
In their stream, they've seen spawning salmon. I mean, how beautiful is that?
Wow.
And then another thing that they've included in the garden is Fiona's very artistic. She's got an arty, her dad, I think, was an artist. Anyway, she's very arty and she's dabbled in various mediums of art, but she decided to take the image of a salmon and have it made into metalwork. So they now have a sculpture of this leaping salmon and various other sculptures around the garden.
Oh,
Fiona's come up with. So really gorgeous. The thing that really struck me was their washing lines. So do you know those rotary washing lines? Or the rotary ones? Your grandmother's got one.
Yes.
They sort of spin round.
Yeah.
Or they're like a Australian staple. They call it Hills Hoist. Anyway, they have one of those and it stands in the middle of a purpose-built patio for it. And they've cobbled with various different types of stones this kind of spiral into the patio. So it's not just a plain patio to go out to hang your washing.
That is so cool.
This beautiful spiral, and apparently it's inspired by Welsh quilting patterns.
Oh.
And the meaning behind the spiral is everlasting life, evolution, growth of the spirit.
For your washing.
For your washing. Isn't that lovely? But it looks, instead of just a plain old spot, it's really artistic and gorgeous.
That's brilliant.
So there's so much to see at this garden. Another thing that interested me was how Julian said he let go of order in terms of, he had very specific ideas of how the planting should be. And then with time, he started to recognise how important it is to let things, seeds drop where they want to drop, obviously within reason.
Yeah,
but
of course.
If a plant is growing well in a particular place that you hadn't intended it to be,
leave
it there.
I suppose we've kind of done the same thing at the beginning. We wanted purple, pink, blue bed here, yellow, orange, red bed here, and everything was going to be very in its own spot. And now we've kind of gone, right, we're just going to have fun with planting, enjoy it, pollinators, come.
Exactly. They also have bees. They built some he calls them bee boxes rather than bee hives.
Okie dokes.
And also there's an interesting bit where they use tyres to provide kind of heat for the roots of things like apple trees, which interests me. I'd like to know more about it because I had understood tyres were toxic and so not good to have around edible plants.
No.
But that, I believe, is available to see if you go visit the garden. So I'd be interested to know a bit more about that.
Yeah, because I can imagine they heat up really well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it's apparently good insulation. But talking of insulation, they've also done some clever things with their greenhouse. It's full of masses of water-filled bottles, and that's used as kind of a thermal store to even out the day and night temperature fluctuations that they have.
Oh, brilliant.
And then they have an insulated compost bay at the end of the greenhouse, which again, the heat from that is to raise temperatures in the greenhouse. Don't know how
a good idea.
It smells, but interesting.
Yeah.
They have a website called Garden Impressionists, and lots of beautiful photos on there, so really good to have a look at that.
I'd like to have a look at that.
But two books that he recommends. One is The Lives of Bees by Thomas D. Seeley, and the other one is called Entangled Life by Merlin Sheldrake.
Oh yeah.
And that's all about the critical role that healthy soil plays in your garden.
That's another good point.
So for example, he was saying how 1 kilogram of wax cup mushrooms is just the iceberg tip of 99 kilograms of fungal mycelium.
Oh, wow.
And those are just wiped out by NPK fertilizers or too much slurry. So how important it is to keep your soil health.
Yeah.
Because you want those mycelium, obviously.
Of course.
And we know a lot about that from talking to Eddie at Rhizophilia as well.
Yeah, to have that symbiotic relationship between plants and fungi.
Entirely. And the final thing I wanted to mention about Julian and Fiona is, I mean, they are such busy people.
They sound amazing.
They're really fascinating.
I'm sitting here in awe, just going, you didn't get this from the chat.
No, I had no idea.
Section on Gardener's World. On DAFs.
Exactly. But Julian does a lot of photos. He's really into his photography.
Oh, yeah.
And Fiona, with her art background, has taken his photography and then done some sort of wizardry on the computer, sort of repetition.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of creating sometimes symmetrical patterns out of, I don't know, a load of moth wings. Or like a collage of them.
Yeah.
And then they decided these patterns were so beautiful, they now get them printed on silk. So you can buy silk scarves from them. These beautiful natural silk scarves.
Oh, this is
with
so
it
amazing.
sort of a natural looking print and just the colours of nature in these scarves. So gorgeous.
Why do I have a feeling we're going to be spending a lot of money on these scarves? They sound utterly amazing.
They're gorgeous. So as I say, I put a link to this, but there's so much to check out. You could spend a good few hours reading up on everything they're up to. There's a YouTube video where they give a talk on what they did with their garden, then their scarves, and then hundreds of photos on there.
Brilliant.
Then Monty's walking along that grass path and all those homemade beautiful hurdles that he made.
Yes.
And then he says that the RHS are looking for some of the rare daffs out there, 3 of them.
Yeah, so there's Mrs R.O. Backhouse, Mrs William Copeland, and Sussex Bonfire.
Yeah, so if anyone's either got them or knows where to find them, then Gardener's World have asked that you go on their website and find a link through there. And then Monty talks about Easter being the traditional time to plant potatoes.
Yeah.
And he's putting in his Charlotte's second earlies.
Yes.
Then we have jobs for the weekend.
Yes, we do.
Tie in clematis, pinch out cosmos, and pot on tomatoes.
Great.
Sweet pea, favourite plant?
It was the Devon Green Hosta.
Oh, you see, I've got that as well from Jess's balcony.
Ah, no.
Jess Goddard's balcony. I did also really like the miscanthus, that great big 5 metre one that Monty was putting in.
Yeah, that was really majestic and beautiful.
So you can have the Devon Green Hosta.
Yes.
And I'll have the miscanthus.
Yay.
And then what was your top takeaway?
Well, I kind of had to... having plastic pot in a terracotta pot, I think, is always great. But also just having a balcony garden as a student, I think, is brilliant.
You really want that, don't you?
And so good for your health. Like, I'm trying to think also, how can I, in my first year, find a patch of land and go, oh, would you like me to make a veg garden here? Or something like that.
Pea. Oh, goodness me, it's going to be such a culture shock for you, isn't it?
It's going to be such a culture shock.
Well, my top takeaway is probably about Julian talking about daffodils taking 5 to 6 years to take from seed.
That is a good point. Patience.
But really anything from what I saw when I was looking up about them.
Yeah,
so
entirely.
I really want to get to their garden. Also, the fact that you are a hardwood cutting, I think that's just the best description of you.
I don't know if it is the best description, but I need to do Pilates.
It is perfect. It's so true. Right then, next week.
Yeah, what have we got?
As spring continues apace, Monty plants up the mound in a gorgeous palette of blues and yellows, dives into the wonderful world of garden compost and makes a start on sowing some succulent summer veg.
Oh.
Sue Kent is busy in her garden in Swansea getting her garden ready for summer, and as always she has 1 or 2 experiments on the go. Frances Tophill enjoys a stunning display of wisteria at a National Collection for Plant Heritage in Surrey, where these magnificent plants can be seen in all their wondrous forms. There's a self-confessed compost obsessive who thinks this incredible ecosystem is the coolest thing on the planet.
Yeah, it is.
Vital to the health and well-being of the soil. Plus, a gardener in Bristol whose love of plants has resulted in some truly beautiful borders.
Oh, lovely.
We're seeing a lot in the Bristol area at the moment.
We are.
Okie dokes, well that's next week.
Sure is.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Bye bye, sweet pea.
Bye bye, Mummy Bear.